Apple releases monthly subscription services for games and then pulls them. The iPhone 4S soars to become the most popular camera. And more rumors of the iPad 3 Retina display come around. All this and more coming up right now. Hello everybody, I'm Jaime Rivera and welcome to the Pocketnow iReview, the show where we go through all this week's cool and the not so cool inside the world of Apple's iOS devices. Let's start this week off with the cool. An iPad 3 for early next year is all everyone is talking about lately. As we mentioned last week, the biggest news is Apple finally bringing a Retina display for their next tablet, even though we think the implementation is going to be a little ahead of this time for current HD standards that we find on any typical TV. Rumors have it that if Apple brings this to the table, they'll be using Sharp as their screen supplier for the next generation display, and, well, it makes a little more sense having Sharp coming up with that. So QXGA seems to be the resolution for their next display, so time will tell. Speaking of the iPad, just how well is the tablet competition for Apple? Well, the MPD group just came with some eye-opening results that you'll definitely love to know. They mentioned that in the first 11 months of the year, the amount of sales of non-iPad tablets climbed to 1.2 million units. And guess what? A lot of that sales came from the HP TouchPad Fire sale for $99 that we know everybody went crazy for. Now, even though Apple doesn't release their results for each country, Apple sold 11.2 million iPads just last quarter alone. So I guess analysts are right every time they say that people are not after tablets, they're after iPads. Rumors have it that Apple is considering the ability to sell a 7-inch tablet, but sadly, seeing that competition is not really doing well in the 7-inch market, it does seem to be just a rumor. But again, let's see how the Amazon Kindle Fire sells, and well, let's see if Apple comes up with a competitor for that. The iPhone 4S keeps soaring stores as even the first Brazilian-manufactured iPhones begin to make the scene from their first Foxconn plant on this side of the planet. And well, aside from that, if you remember, the iPhone 4 recently took the #1 spot as the preferred camera on Flickr. And well, guess which device just made the #2 spot? You guessed it, it's the iPhone 4S. So far, the device didn't really bring anything groundbreaking to the market, but it seems that people can't stop buying it. So far. And hey, just before we get into the not-so-cool section, have a look at this case. Apple recently released their subscription services for games where you can pay a flat fee to developers to use their games every month with unlimited access. Though, sadly, the irony is that Apple yanked that service just a couple of days later. And the question's why? Could it be that developers began moving their subscription plans to all apps together and actually hindering sales from the App Store? Or has Apple recently just lost their mind? I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I'm glad they yanked the service because obviously developers are just making more and more money. But again, it seems that Apple hasn't come on record as to why they did it, so let's hope they either pull it back for some people that are actually benefited on that or keep it there. I don't mind not having it. That does it for the cool. Let's continue on with the not so cool. Samsung seems to be giving Apple a little dose of their own medicine. Remember those old I'm a Mac, I'm a PC ads where Apple used to mock Windows Vista customers because of all the flaws? Well, Samsung just brought a new ad where customers are making fun of Apple customers because, well, they're making lines for a crazy device that didn't really change over the years. And, well, it's kind of ironic. I'm not really sure if marketing tactics were well there, but think about it. I mean, if you pull those old I'm a Mac ads, well, it does seem that Apple had it waiting for them, and I'm wondering actually why competition took so long. The ads are kind of funny, actually. And hey, it seems that the list of problems with the iPhone 4S is still giving us something to talk about. Customers are now complaining about Wi-Fi issues with the device, and you'd wonder where is iOS 5.0.2 to deal with all these problems. Apple really needs to step their game up with the problems because obviously a lot of customers are complaining, and it's even becoming a problem with the iPhone 4 customers. I'm having Wi-Fi issues, so I'm wondering, where's my fix, Apple? That's it for today's show. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Jaime Rivera. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw. That's it for now.